Yes, we were recording 2 videos in a single day, but it was very important that I needed to get this video out to you because we're going to talk about why I was wrong, how prices are coming down significantly recently, and what we can do about it. So the first thing we need to talk about is how I was wrong and why I was wrong. And the big thing about this was my context was very skewed. So I'm going to go ahead and use this card as an example one more time. I know we're sick of this card at this point, but we're just going to use it one last time. I promise this is the last time. But when we look at cards like the Latios GX, and we saw other Sun and Moon era cards and other Sword and Shield cards starting to really show massive price swings to the upside, I was a little bit skewed because I told you about a year and a half ago, maybe almost 2 years at this point, that I was buying aggressively. So I had a nice long 6 month to 12-month time frame that I was buying a ton of cards. And the big thing that I think a lot of people miss, and that, well, I shouldn't say you missed, but you didn't know, was that from January of this year all the way up till around June or July, I effectively did no buying as far as graded singles or older cards. As far as Scarlet and Violet is concerned, I have almost no exposure into Scarlet and Violet. I do have some products, but I have no booster boxes. I have very, very limited exposure to Scarlet and Violet. And so what that means is that when we saw cards like this make massive price moves, or like our Scream promos or other alt art cards, when we saw these massive price swings, I had already been buying these from years prior. And when Scarlet and Violet prices started to come down, we saw these booster boxes coming down, and now we're seeing massive discounts on Scarlet and Violet products. So we saw booster boxes, I want to say they started at what, in the 120s or somewhere in that range at the beginning of the era, and now we're seeing huge discounts on booster boxes for Scarlet and Violet. A lot of the ETBs from the current sets are at really, really big discounts, really great deals if you are in the market for those. And I basically had very little exposure to any of that. I wasn't buying those cards at those particular price points or those products at those higher price ranges. And so when I talked about the exciting price movements and cards like these, the context was a little bit skewed, and I wasn't really looking at the cards that a lot of people were buying at that current stage, or at the stage of 3 months and 6 months and 9 months ago. And so what I really want to do is pull things back a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about modern. And so now, looking at the situation today, the question is, should we panic? We have massive population reports of cards from, let's say, the Sword and Shield era. We have Scarlet and Violet prices, which are coming down significantly at this point in time. And there's just not quite as much excitement. The hype around the hobby is not quite where it was, barring really exciting cards, let's say like the Van Gogh promos and things of that nature. But for the most part, we're just not quite seeing the same activity, with certain exceptions. We have things like Pokemon 151, the Van Gogh promos, and whatever else is really hyped and people are really excited for at this point. But as far as the market sentiment around Scarlet and Violet, it's, I would say, neutral if you had me grade it, but some people might consider it positive or a little bit negative, just depending on what context we're looking at. We have to remember that there was a point in time where things from the Sun and Moon era was considered overprinted. And yes, it was a long time ago. Now we're talking 4 years ago, or let's say Sun and Moon, I believe it started in 2017. So if we go from 2017 to 2019, we're going from 4 to 6 years since the Sun and Moon era. And I know it seems like ages ago, but as we've mentioned many times on this channel, history keeps repeating. And what's interesting about this is that this is very similar to what we experienced in the past. If we just go back to the context of this channel and what's been going on since this channel started, about 1.5 to 2 years ago, I warned that I was beginning to buy aggressively. And here's the reality of the situation. About 1.5, 2 years ago, cards like these were on sale. These were maybe $5 to $8 a piece for about a year or so, and now these have gone up quite a bit since then. Cards like these promos, they were $1 a piece, very cheap. Now they're running about maybe $6. So really nice returns. I know these are low value cards, but again, I wanted to bring this back into the context of things that maybe your average collector, that normal people would purchase. So you have cards like these that were $5 to $8. We have these promos, great looking promos. I mean, look at how great something like this looks. And these were $1, or roughly about $1. Umbreon promos. I mean, we're talking about Evolving Skies. What about Umbreon? This is from the 3-pack blisters of Evolving Skies. A beautiful card as well, running roughly about $1, $1.50 for quite a long time. These are the type of things that we could have picked up a year and a half, 2 years ago, and now they're a little bit more. I think these run about $6, and the Moltres Zapdos Articuno, I think those are running about $15 to $20. And the big part about this is a year and a half, 2 years ago, these were the type of items on sale. And so that's the big key. Prices are down right now on things like Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet, and even the cards that had mooned in price recently in the last 3 months. They are at heavy discounts right now. And so instead of thinking about things in a panic state, I think this is where we begin to start looking for opportunities. We need to stop saying prices are getting crushed. It is time to panic. I'm not sure if I have confidence in Scarlet and Violet. Instead of having that mentality, what we should be doing is searching for opportunity. We should be looking for the things that we consider to be a sale price, a discount price, just like these cards. I mean, when this promo was hyped, I want to say that these were in the $20, $30 a piece range before the massive reprints, and then this card flushed all the way down to as low as $5. And we're in a similar situation now with Scarlet, Violet, and a lot of cards from Sword and Shield as well. There's a lot of cards that have come down in price, and a lot of people are worried about the future valuations. And that's reasonable to be worried, but we also need to start searching for opportunity and think, what cards are interesting? What cards will stand the test of time? Is there any beautiful artworks like this one here, the stained glass birds? Is there anything unique, anything special that is going to stand out as time moves forward? Now, what am I doing? Am I buying aggressively now? No, I am not. I am cautiously entering the market. I have made some purchases in the last couple of months, but it's extremely light. I'm still waiting to see the market action really hit its true negativity standpoint. But as of right now, I am cautiously buying. I am in the market, but I am absolutely not panicking. And what I hope is that you will use these down prices, this opportunity, to maybe look for your potential 3x or your 5x returns. But right now, the way I'm viewing things from Scarlet and Violet, and I'm seeing the price decreases in certain cards from Sword and Shield, I'm seeing opportunity. And I do want to discuss some of the cards that I've been purchasing, but I don't know the next time I'll be able to do that. But I really wanted to highlight the market sentiment and what we're seeing today with Modern, with Scarlet and Violet, and the negativity around the products from Scarlet and Violet, the high pop reports from Sword and Shield. And yes, they are something to discuss, and it's something to keep in mind. But is this the time to panic? Instead, what I urge you to consider is to think about things as them being on sale. If that card has dropped 50% in value, yes, maybe it might go down another 50% and another 50% from there. So maybe it comes down 75, 80%. Well, guess what? We have seen this type of price action in the past. But if you're able to buy at these relative lows, a lot of times they end up being some of the best deals. And so, yes, I could have picked up these stained glass birds at $5 a card, and I didn't. I paid quite a bit of a premium for those stained glass birds, even though I recall them being as low as $5, and I'm sure some people got them cheaper than that. But the way I'm viewing things today is it's not time to panic. It's time to go shopping. It's time to look for some sales, look for some discounts, and maybe we can have another round of really great stories of really great cards we bought at fantastic prices.